Hello, good morning. It's Wednesday, the 13th of March, 2019. Yes, gang, we are still here. The United Kingdom is still here, boys, and we're clinging on now, dear. Clinging on, and there's a very, very important announcement I have to make for you this morning, boys and girls. A very, very by the way, I'm so glad you're enjoying our little mini videos that I do. 4 of them with my mate yesterday. He seems to get more viewers. I notice there's more viewers. Not that it's all about numbers, which it never is, dear. If only those old Europeans could understand that. If it's not all about Europe, it's not all about Europe, dear. Certainly not. It's not all about numbers. It's not about numbers. But we do get a few more viewers when he's on the show. And we did about 4 little short videos yesterday, which I'm so glad you're enjoying those. They're actually more popular than the long ones. The short videos, they're only about a minute long. And we do those via Instagram. Although I've learnt now to record it with the phone rather than doing it direct onto Instagram, because I've noticed, and some of you mentioned, that when I do it direct onto Instagram, it mirrors the picture. So everything's back to front. I know some of you get very, very upset by it. Oh, I don't like it because it's all the wrong way round. Oh, instead of seeing the content, they see what is wrong with it, you see. That's what goes on. So now I record it first and then I uploaded it like 10 seconds later. So it doesn't make any difference to us. But there was one yesterday where we noticed an elderly couple. If you may, you probably would have seen. Oh, by the way, I hope Maureen, if you're with us this morning, Maureen, I hope you're able to see those shorter videos as well that go up on the YouTube there. Yes, there was an elderly couple yesterday who were walking along. One of them had this walking frame. Right? It's not even on the floor. She's holding it up. She wasn't even using it. And then she saw us look over and then started using it. What's all that about? Anyway, would you like the important announcement first? Or shall I read your messages first? Okay, I'll read your messages first. Early messages coming up right now, boys and girls. The first message of the day today is from the person who is furthest away from us. Yes, it's Mr. Michael Pullman in Australia. Good morning, Michael, and welcome to the show. Nice to see you. Nice. That's the first time I think you've got the first message in, isn't it? Wayne Martin is there. Good morning, young Wayne. He'll be doing your karaoke tonight, I think, isn't it, on a Wednesday down at the Corner House? Oh, no, it's called something else now, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called now. Dr. SOS Gregorian, good morning. Katie Ann Patterson, Adam the Plumber, Rod Brown, Mr. Ray Reynolds, good morning, Ray. Will Peters, you're new. Hello, Will. Welcome to the show. Guy Stephen Sowes, good morning, Guy. It's Peter Lake's birthday today. We've got 2 special birthdays today, as well as our usual birthday list at the end of the show. But Peter Lake especially, he's a special birthday. Special birthday because he's a special friend. And Peter says, good morning, Chris. It's Peter Lake. It's my birthday. 39 years old today. I did not get a wink of sleep. Here is an impression of a wink of sleep. That was good, wasn't it? Did you think I could be an impressionist on the television? Let's do it again. A wink of sleep. You ready? Here we go. That's it. A wink. I could be. Who was the bloke in the 70s? He was fantastic. Impressionist. Mike Yarwood. Oh, how I miss him. Anyone remember Mike Yarwood? Peter, I don't know if you'd remember him or not. I think you might be too young to have known Mike Yarwood. He was the business. He really was. He had his own Saturday night show, and Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without a few things going on, actually. Morecambe and Wise, the 2 Ronnies, and Mike Yarwood. Staple Christmas night entertainment. He was fantastic at doing all these impressions and all that business. Great man. Look him up on YouTube. The last time I saw him on the telly was, I think, an interview possibly with Wogan years and years ago. And he was sitting there and having this interview and said, I'd love to work again, if anyone wants to give me a job. And we never saw him again. He was fantastic. He got into deep depression. And hit the bottle like so many, unfortunately, stars do these days. It's just part of the business. The whole depression thing is something that lots of people on the telly and in entertainment get, unfortunately. He was one of them. But when he was there on that screen, oh, my God, we adored him. Mike, you are great. Good morning to Michael Lawrence. So happy birthday to Peter Lake. Yeah, as I say, he couldn't get a wink of sleep. It's been very, very windy down here as well today. Probably is where you are. If you're in the north, I've already seen the weather forecast for this morning. The worst part of the wind has now finished, apparently, but not in the south. It's moving down here. And I've got a little meeting this afternoon with a friend of mine who I haven't seen for about 20 or 25 years, who I used to work with as a telephone engineer. I was a telephone engineer back in the 80s. And the main area, I had a lovely area, Mortlake, Richmond, Sheen, Ham and Kew. That's the area I covered. It was in my little yellow van, going and fixing people's phones, climbing up and down telegraph poles. It was a great job. And the comradeship between all the lads who worked on the telephones was something that I miss. I really miss that. As I left there and just became a DJ and karaoke host, there's not so much. You're very much on your own, you know. Not so much at Central Station where I do the main karaoke. There is quite a bit of comradeship there, to be honest, with all the staff. Yes, there's something there that knits us all together. You know, probably the governor, Duncan, actually. It's probably him that knits us all together. But generally, when you're doing an entertainment thing, you're very much on your own. And I miss that whole British Telecom comradeship going on there. But yeah, so I'm meeting up with a friend of mine, David, this afternoon in Woking. Because that's kind of in between the both of us. So we're meeting up there around about 2 o'clock this afternoon. So very much looking forward to that. Cup of tea in Waitrose, I think. Meet me in Waitrose car park of all places. Michael, the ladies show the rainbow jumper because you do sound camp. Who does? Me? I don't sound camp, Michael. Important announcement coming up, boys and girls. Joanna, good morning, Joanna. Robert Dexter, morning, Robert. What are you insinuating? What are you insinuating? All right, Pop. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? You've got to watch the short videos. You can find the short videos either on my Facebook wall, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK, on the Instagram thing I've got, again, Chris Reardon UK, or on YouTube, Chris Reardon UK. All right, it's always, anything to do with me usually finishes Chris Reardon UK. So YouTube as well on there, okay? Let's have a look. There we are. Good morning, Merlin. Morning, young Merlin. Guy Stephen Sowers, good morning. Love the flowers in the background. I'm glad you like them. The blue ones were given to me by Ray Reynolds for my birthday. And the pink ones there by lovely Maureen. The pink ones are actually quite old. They've reflowered those. Sometimes I'll be honest, I'm not too good with orchids. And you ask people about them, and it's ever so funny, really. Oh, orchid. Oh, I don't think you're giving it too much water. No, I don't give it much water at all. Ah, that's probably the cause. Then you're not giving it enough water. So they always take the opposite of you. You can't win. But someone who is very good with my orchids is my mate. And when I notice one is like, I think we're going to lose this one, he takes it home and he brings it back to life. I don't know how he does it. He brings them all back to life. Very, very clever. Perhaps he can do that with humans. You know, if you've got anyone in your life who might have died recently, send them over. I'll send them round to my mate. He might be able to do something there for you. Okay, good morning to Pete Branch. Morning, Pete. Mike Reese-Ponto is in sunny Portsmouth this morning. I don't think you've got the worst of the wind down there yet. It's coming. Another couple of hours and you'll have it down there as well. All right. Fairy Meadow. Is that where you are, Guy? Fairy Meadow. Sounds like the sort of place I should be living in. Thank you. Wayne is the corner house is now called Gordon's on Queen Street. It sounds like a gin palace. Oh, I don't. That's not a good name. Gordon's. It sounds just like a gin bar. That does, because there is a Gordon's gin in it. That lovely green bottle. Gordon's gin. We like that. Morning to Claire. Can we have a Gemma Collins? I've said it. You've ruined it. See, we were going to have a Gemma Collins free day, and then you said it, Claire. Please, can we have a Gemma Collins free zone today? Well, there'd be a lot more space in the world if she wasn't around, wouldn't there? Let's be honest. Morning to Paul and Lou. Morning, just rolling out of bed with you in a minute. Nice to see you up so early this morning. What's wrong with you? Weird City is in the house as well. Michael says the weather could be better. Yes, it's very, very windy out there. Good morning to Eric Wiltshire. Got snow here this morning. We'll keep it. He's in Slovakia, Eric. He runs a big radio station there, RTI. And I hate the snow, Eric. I hate the snow. Are you ready for the big announcement? Big announcement coming up. We're nearly at the end of the messages. JP, what have I missed? Not telling you, JP. Be there on time. You can't just wander in, dear. Oh, what have I missed? Too late. You weren't there on time. You know, when you turn on the 9 o'clock news and you're a bit late, say 5 past. Oh, I wonder what news it is. Do you ring up the BBC? Oh, hello. Is that the BBC? Oh, hello. John Parrish here. Yes. Could you start again? I'm a bit late. Thank you so much. No, they don't start again, do they? No, dear. You must be there on time. The early bird catches the worm. Exactly. And I'm very early this morning. Very early this morning. Oh, no. Katie's lost her budgies this morning. Katie's lost one of her budgies. How have you managed that? Did you leave the door? I'm sorry, Katie. It's not funny. Katie has lost a budgerigar this morning. That happened to me when I was a little boy. A little yellow budgie called George. Poor little thing. You know, it used to fly around the room until someone left the front door open. That was it. It was gone. Never saw it again. Poor little George. George the budgerigar. Bright yellow thing it was. Good morning to Keith George, who's in Marbella. Probably purchasing yet another property there. Good morning, Keith. Morning. You're just looking younger and younger, Keith. How are you doing that, dear? Morning. Craig McKenzie. Good morning to you, Craig. Pete, we've had heavy winds in Sao Paulo on Saturday. 52 trees came down. Oh, gosh. Then suddenly we had heavy rain, which caused one of the 2 main rivers in Sao Paulo to burst its banks. Do be careful. Can you swim, dear? 12 people have died. My God. My caravan's next to a river, you know. And it is in the floodplain, my caravan up north. It is. Although it hasn't flooded for 75 years, apparently, this river. Yeah, long time. Are you ready for the big announcement? Here we go. Ray Reynolds, Strasbourg rules okay. Send them all your money to stay in Europe. Oh, poor Theresa May yesterday. Here's the announcement, and then I'll go on to that. Ready? Here is the big announcement. If we have a no-deal Brexit, there are going to be no tariffs imposed on this programme. There you go. That's the announcement. Aren't you pleased to hear that? It will still not cost you anything at all to watch this show. And I can't be fairer than that. Theresa rung me up this morning. Chris, we're a little bit concerned about the no Brexit. Chris, hello, Chris. Hello, who is that? Is this a dodgy call? Is that you, Theresa? Yeah, it's me. Oh, what's up, girl? Your voice still not back yet. Oh, it's okay. About your show, we're not going to put any tariffs. Oh, thank you so much, Theresa. I can't talk anymore. Bye-bye. And she put the phone down. Couldn't hear a word she was saying. But I got the gist of it. And it's funny that, isn't it? Because we were only watching the television this morning about if there's a no-deal Brexit, all tariffs are going to be removed from this, that and the other. Some things are going to go up a bit, especially German cars. Funny that. German cars are going to become more expensive, according to the news this morning. But this show is going to remain tariff-free. Yeah! Come on, gang. Come on! That's it now. I might as well go now. I can't beat that bit of news, can I really? Whatever I tell you now is not going to be as fantastic as that bit of news I just told you. So there we are. This show, that is the big announcement this morning. This show will remain tariff-free. Okay? There you go. I'm gonna take the loss myself, as I have been doing for so long. Thank you very much. Let's have a look there. Paul and Lou, I wonder what Theresa May carries around in her handbags. Throat lozenges, I would think. Oh, I did feel sorry for her yesterday. She must be incredibly strong to take the crap that's been thrown at her from both sides. From both sides. Whether you're one side or the other, You know, I mean, some people are so one-sided they can't see any of the other side at all. And it's just impossible to talk to people like that. But she's had it from both sides. And then she's standing there. That must have been painful for her yesterday. For hours. Hours and hours and hours. Answering questions, batting them away, taking the criticism, having people shout at her. Oh. I really felt sorry for her. I mean, it was bad enough the other week. She had a problem the other week, didn't she? When was that? Was that not a similar problem? Yes, I'm sure it was. Yes, some speech or something where she lost her voice again. I don't remember a prime minister ever losing their voices. Do you? Or going like that? Or that's the second time it's happened to her. I wonder if she's got a problem with her throat. She's just incredible. I find her absolutely incredible. Katie says, "Are you laughing, Chris? It was the heat." Oh, I beg your pardon, dear. I thought you meant it flew out. Oh, our budgie has died. Oh, just a minute. Would you like a special papal funeral for your budgie? I have direct links here to the Pope. Yes, we can send round a selection of Catholic priests to bless your poor baby budgie. Poor baby budgie. Oh, I'm sorry you've lost a budgie. I lost a budgie once. It was making a funny noise in the cage. Really odd noise. I was only a little boy. I was about 14, I think I was. And I put my finger in the cage and it instantly hopped onto your finger and I brought it out. And it was making an odd noise and I looked at it. And I'm talking to this budgie. I'm serious, absolutely serious here, Katie. This was a blue budgie, Benny. We called him Benny because we'd got him from Bentl's, which was a department store in Kingston. I'm talking to this budgie like this. And it's not making the right noise. And I said, "You're not well, are you?" And I'm like, "I think you're going to die, aren't you?" Oh. Anyway, I continued the conversation like that. And I put it back in its cage. I went out, come back. There it is, flat on its back in the cage. When I come back, oh. We hate losing our pets, don't we? Hate losing pets. Paula Lou says she ain't given the cheque for Mr. Jemca yet. Junkies yet. Mr. Junkies. So it's hot again. Well, what is the temperature now in Australia? I thought you got through that hot spell. Is it back up again? I wouldn't like it to be too hot. I really wouldn't. That's okay, JP. I'm a very kind person, as you well know. Thank you very much. Morning to Dominic. Eric Erickson. We don't do Brexit, Eric. We don't do Brexit, only on a comedific value. Is that a word, comedific? Someone look that up quickly. Thank you very much. Keith, they need to keep a no-deal option. No, we're not going to go into that. Morning to Ronnie. Hours and hours are you talking of you talking. Hours. Believe me, Ronnie, hours. I'm booked to talk for 5 hours tonight, and I shall be talking for every single one of them. Don't worry about that. Thank you very much. Mrs. M is the messenger of an agreement, not her deal. There are others involved. No one gets it. There you are. Oh, I get it. Of course there are others involved. Of course they are. She needs some lubrication, says Mike. Well, she's got some. Those little throat lozenges. Did you see her sucking away yesterday? Suck, 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 she was. Every time she sat down, I saw her move the sweet to the other side of her mouth. Did you see that? Honestly, I wanted to give her a hug yesterday. I found it very upsetting watching someone struggling like that. It doesn't matter who it would have been. You know, awful. Paul and Lou last time was at the park conference, her voice rent. I remember that, the party conference. The guy ended up on stage serving her a P45. Yes, then the letters fell off the wall. I remember that. Ronnie, that's my mate there. That's the one that you see in the videos. A lot of people die after you speak to them. Well, in that case, I'll ring you up and talk to you later, Ronnie. You know, thank you very much. Morning to Maureen. Hello to Maureen. Joining us this morning on the text messaging, Adrian Richardson. I'm glad you're able to turn up for the show today, dear. Thank you. Well, yesterday, I had a very, very busy day yesterday. It was busier than I thought. Whole idea was I dropped the car off and then I got my courtesy car and then that's it. But I was aware that the new RAV4 was in the garage. I have a Toyota. RAV4, which is coming up to 3 years old now. I have a car for 3 years, and then I trade it in for another one, and I get it on that PCP. What is it? PEP? PCP, or is that a lung condition? It's Ronnie's had that. Ronnie's had many, many different lung conditions that he's only too pleased to tell you the 4-hour story every time he meets someone new. I think it's PCP or PEP. You know, that thing where you hand your old car back and you carry on with a monthly payment to get a new car. You know that thing? Well, mine is about to run out. It's only got a few months left. It's not quite there yet, but it's only got about 5 months left to run on it. So I thought, well, while I'm in there, I'll have a look at the car. I won't ask anyone, you know, I'll just quietly walk around. And I said, so the car service was at 10 o'clock. Now, you remember on, what is it today, Wednesday? So you remember Monday, I said to you, we might get a show. We'll probably be able to get a show in on Tuesday. For some reason, I thought my show usually starts at 8:30 till 9:30. No, it usually starts around about 9:30. Well, the appointment was for 10 o'clock, so I thought, well, I can't get one in now. Not unless I do one really early, and I thought there'd be no one around that early on in the morning. Although I did wake up at 7 o'clock. I'm not sleeping too well again at the moment. My stomach, just on the side, it's starting to blow up again, and it's uncomfortable to sit on. This has been going on for years. Absolutely years. And now and again, it kind of it's like it's full of air or something's not getting out properly or something like that. I don't know. And then suddenly it's all right again. But this has been about 2 weeks now. It's been like this. So annoying. It really is. Not generally not painful. Discomfort in certain positions. Oh no. It feels like you're laying on something or there's some sort of pressure going on. I'm convinced it's wind that's not getting out. That's what I think. It's like a balloon. You know, if you was to lay on a balloon, you could feel it was there, couldn't you? It feels a bit like that. Anyway, so that's why you didn't get a show yesterday morning. So Monday night, I rung up my mum. I said, do you want to come down to service? I've got one of those new cars there. I might have a look at it. Oh, yeah, you go. So I picked him up around about 9:30, I think it was yesterday. And we went to Toyota. Which is not far from here in Bracknell, near a hotel, actually. Near a hotel it is. Come down this steep hill, we got in there and booked the car in. And as I walked past to book the car in, I spotted the new car, the new updated RAV4. They had a black one in. I'm not keen on the colours black or white for a car. I think they look incredibly dirty very quickly. I had a white one once. I had a white Yaris once. And it was a devil to keep the damn thing clean all the time. Now, I'm not one of those people who cleans the car every week. I'm sorry. It's more likely to be every month or maybe every 2 months. I'm not a great car cleaner. But, you know, if it's white, slight bit of dirt or black, both the same, then it's just dirty straight away. So I'm not kidding. Now, the car in the showroom was a black one. So I've put my car into the Toyota. And I've been with Toyota now. It's got to be coming on 15 years. No, let me think. It's got to be, maybe not so much. Maybe 12, 15 years. Somewhere around there I've had Toyota cars. And I've been really, really pleased with the service there. Fantastic service. You feel like a valued customer when you go into Toyota. Absolutely you do. It's a shame. Years ago, 20-odd years ago, I had a couple of Land Rovers, Defenders, you know, the army type. But they were new as well. It's all to do with tax and all that. You need this for the business, therefore you can write off so much. That's why if I had to buy a new car and not being able to claim anything back from it, I probably wouldn't do it. It's all part of keeping the tax low. You need that for the business. I can't go to work on a train. Okay, and carry all my stuff around. Not possible. So I need a car. Do you understand? So that's part of it as well. That's why I update the car every 3 years. The main thing in my head with a car, number one, absolute top priority, reliability. Reliability, top thing at the very top. Number two, miles per gallon. They're my two main things. The actual look of the thing, or extras, doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'm not interested in wheels. I'm not interested in special paint. Doesn't bother me at all, okay? I want, number one, a reliable car. And, you know, if you buy a car that's 10 years old, it's never going to be as reliable as a new one. You see what I mean? And I often hear of people that break down left, right and centre all the time. Oh, if I break down on the way to work, there's no one to do it. Yeah, it's too late. By the time I've left here, okay, I give it 2 hours to get to work. Okay, so if I leave here, when I leave here, my job will be starting about 3 hours later because I always get to work about an hour before I'm due to start. So if I'm on the way, you know, I might have travelled an hour and then I break down. 2 hours away, they can't get anyone. Too late. It's not like, you know, replacing a bar staff quickly. Very difficult, perhaps on a Friday night, to find someone else to do what I'm doing at that time, you see? When I go on holiday, I have to tell my agent weeks in advance, weeks and weeks in advance, that I'm going away so that someone suitable can be put in there. That's how it is. So I've been very, very pleased with the service there. I've never been serviced and had to. I've never had the car serviced. I haven't been serviced for a long time, to be honest. I've never had to have the car serviced and then take it back because something hasn't been done properly. I've never been in for service, and you hear these stories, and you've come out and there's something wrong, or you break down again, or something like that. In other Toyotas I've had, Yaris, I had an Igo. The Igo was perfectly all right until it hit about 160,000 miles. And then it started breaking down. There were things going wrong with it at about 160,000 miles. So I had that for 6 years. One of the Yarises, the wiring loom, there was something wrong with the wiring loom and I had to replace that. On both Yarises, okay, both of my Yarises were diesel. And they were sort of newish diesel ones. And they had one of those diesel particulate filters on. Both of them, and they both clogged up, both of them. And I was saying, oh, it must be the way you're driving it. Do you do a lot of town driving? No, I'm on the motorway all the time. And I wasn't an ecological driver at that point, an economical driver at that point. I used to come up and down that motorway 70, 75 mile an hour. You know, so it wasn't that, but they both clogged up, both of them. And that's not good. They're not supposed to do that, but both of them did. So it was at that point, I thought, oh, I don't know about a diesel. The RAV4 I've got now, I've had, it's coming on 3 years now. I've never had to do anything to it at all. Not even replace a light bulb. Nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Not even a set of tyres. No tyres, no brake pads. I tend not to get through brake pads at all when I'm driving. I don't use the brakes. I know that sounds stupid. I slow down. I see that queue of cars, you know, I don't know, whatever, a quarter of a mile in front of me, and I'm off the gas. I slow down, and as I get to the car in front, I touch the brake. Touch the brake, and that's all you need to do. You need to think ahead. All these idiots who driving up people's arses all the time, they're on and off the brakes, especially the Uber drivers. Sit behind an Uber driver. They're going along, and suddenly they touch the brake. Why have you put the brakes on? On, off the brakes, on and off, on, off. You must be like someone in someone's car like that. You're driving along and they're on and off the bloody brakes all the time. No, look ahead. Look ahead. You can save yourself a fortune. The last time I put a set of brake pads on a vehicle was a Land Rover. Years ago. And I am convinced that I didn't need them. I'd gone into this garage in Ascot, right? And I said, well, I know the servicing. I'd like you to match the servicing of that price. And, oh, yeah, okay then. So I went in there and paid for it. Oh, by the way, we had to put some new brake pads on. Well, the car wasn't a year old. I think I was probably done there. But I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know. You see, I don't know these things. But I used to get through sets of tyres on the Igo. The Yarises got through, I think, 2 or 3 sets of tyres. The RAV4, the one that I've got now, I've not even got through a set of tyres. I've had the thing nearly 3 years. No brake pads, not even a light bulb, nothing. Nothing, not a thing have I had to do to that car. So it's absolutely brilliant. I've been very happy with that car. Very happy indeed. So we're in the garage and we're looking around this car. And then I recognised the salesman, who's he's of an age, probably around about the same age as me, maybe just a touch older than me. And he says, all right, Chris. I said, hello, mate. I said, I'm just looking around this. He says, oh, do you want to test drive? I said, well, I'm just looking at it at the moment. Okay, then. And but then we start talking, don't we? We start talking then. And my mate's with me as well. And we're looking at this car. And I thought, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Now, Toyota, mid-range. Probably low to mid-range, I would say. Maybe quite close to mid-range. It's certainly not at the high end. We're not talking BMW, Toyota, Mercedes like that. So, you know, there's your range of cars. BMW, Land Rover, they're all up there. Toyota, probably around there. Maybe just below mid-range. You know, so that's where I'm going. And I like the front of it. I like the face. It's like, yeah, face of a car. I like cars' faces, don't you? Some of the electric cars, they don't have a face at all. I would like an electric car, but there's a difficulty where I live, and indeed where my caravan is, of how to charge. I'm not near my garage. I'm not near my garage, and it wouldn't be possible to run a cable out of my car. Now, my mate's just bought a new car. He's got a mini plug-in hybrid, okay? So he plugs that in, and that sucks up... I think about 30 miles worth of electricity. I don't know what exactly that is in kilowatt hours and all that business. But he's just bought that. Now, he is able to get a cable down his garden, round a back fence, and there. He can do that, okay? I can't do that without digging up the road. And that would be quite an expensive thing. You wouldn't make back the money that you'd spent on doing the road, I wouldn't have thought. You know, digging up all that on electric. But that's just how it is. So at the moment, not really possible for me to have an electric car. And we don't have any points outside. However, my garage is next to a lamp. Now, I've seen in King's Cross, actually opposite the pub where I do the karaoke, there is a lamp there that has installed within the column an electrical car point, which I think is excellent. Now, whether or not they can do that to all electric, I mean, you wouldn't do it to all of them, but, you know, many electrical street lamps, whether or not you can actually put a car charging point on any of them, I do not know. But what a good idea. So this bloke, I think it's the same, it tends to be the same car always plugged into there. And there's a cable comes out of there and he just literally drops it onto the pavement and it's plugged into his car. Of course, you've got to get the parking spot that's next to the lamp. And if I was to have an electric car and I run out of electricity at the pub, and that one's, then I've had it, haven't I? So not possible yet. So we've looked around this car. And I've sat in it, and this would be the sort of, you know, they have different models. So there were 4 models of this particular car. This is the second one. I think the second or third one up. So I'm looking, and then we sat down with him and worked out some bits and pieces. I was pleasantly surprised that my car had held its value because it's been no accidents on there and it's been kept nice and all that. And we worked out the money and all that. And funnily enough, the payments actually go down. The payments go down because my car has held value, you see. So the payments go down. The deposit is nothing to write home about, really. That's quite low as well. So I've done it. I've done it, and it'll be here sort of mid-May, I think he said. There's none available at the moment. Mid-May. I've gone for a nice red colour this time. As chosen by my niece and 2 nephews. I was straight on. I noticed WhatsApp. This seems to be the way that a lot of people communicate now, WhatsApp. I've noticed that. If I text my nieces and nephews, they don't always get back to me immediately, if at all sometimes. WhatsApp, my God, they're straight there. They're straight there. So I'd done a group chat. A group chat. So there was my 2 nephews, my niece and my sister on the group chat. I said, I'm in car showroom, going to show you 3 colours, you know, what one do you like? And there was a dark blue, like, there's a really dark blue colour here. Probably like a bit like that. Really dark blue, okay? There was a light blue, like that, okay? And there was a red. The red was a very dark red, maybe, I haven't got anything like that in here. Like a dark red colour. No, I haven't got anything that's really that dark, actually. And it was a dark red colour, and they all went for the red. They all went for the red, and I thought, well, I've either the dark blue or the red. Wasn't too keen on the light blue. My mate liked the light blue. I thought it was a bit gay. Do you know what I mean? Bit of a gay colour. It was a bit camp. And as you know, you can say many things about me, but I'm not camp. I'm absolutely not camp. So, pardon? So we went for the dark red, and it's all ordered, deposit paid, and that's it. We were there for 3 hours. 3 hours we were in that place. Oh my God, 3 hours we were in the garage in the end, drinking copious cups of tea. He had a great big plate of bloody biscuits in front of me, knowing that it is Lent and I can't eat biscuits. He said, oh, these chocolate biscuits. Oh, here's a coconut one. Oh, let me dip this chocolate one, bastard. Eating the biscuits in front of me like that he was. And I have to say, the very fact that he came, I'm not very good at getting stuff. Do you know what I mean? So that's the price. Okay, I'll pay that. And sometimes I can get a bit off, but bits and pieces, I'm not very good at it. But he pipes up. He is very good. Mr. Something for Nothing is my mate. He can get stuff for nothing. And I managed to get... No, he managed to get for me 2 free services, the first 2 free services, and a full tank of petrol, which is about 60 quid, I think, about 50 quid on tank of petrol at the moment for that car at the current rate. To fill up my car at the moment from completely empty is probably about 55 quid, so something like that. Isn't it funny, when we were kids, you would never imagine you were putting £100 worth of petrol in your car, would you? You know? I never forget the day that the pounds started going up quicker than the litres. So very pleased, all ordered. The salesman, Mr. David Hunt, that's with a H. Mr. David Hunt, lovely chap. And the thing is, when you go in Toyota, they're not pushy. They're not pushy at all. And I was pleased to do the business, and I was pleased with the deal that I got, and this, that, and the other, and I walked out happy. So there we are. So that's coming soon. Very, very exciting. While we were sitting there actually talking to David Hunt, and of course there's Suzanne. She's like the receptionist in there. She's great, she is. Suzanne, she comes over. Do you want a cup of tea and all this business? Oh, she's fab. Suzanne in Jemca Toyota, Bracknell. The only criticism I've got of that place is that when you call the service yard, it doesn't go there. It goes through to this bloody call centre, and they're useless. That you can never, ever get through to them on the phone. When the lines were direct, someone always answered. They had this bloke there called Carl. Now, he used to be at Land Rover. When I changed from Land Rover to Toyota, I walked in there. I said, what are you doing here? He said, oh, I've changed jobs. I said, well, I'm about to change cars. And he was there. Out of all the car places, he's gone to the same one that I... Isn't that funny? Isn't that strange and mysterious? That's what it is, strange and mysterious. And he was there. And he was fantastic, he was. They do know their customer service, but you can't get through to them because it goes through to a damn call centre. And it's just a pain in the arse. Yesterday, I rang up. I wanted to see what time the car was going to be ready. So I rang up. She said, I'll put you through. Which branch is it? Oh, Bracknell. I thought, oh, here we go. Ring. No one. So she said, I can't get through to them at the moment. Can I take your number and they'll call you back? That never works. It doesn't matter what company you ring. No one rings you back. So I said to her, are you in a call centre? She says, that's right. So I just hung up. Isn't that awful? I just hung up on there. I can't be bothered with these people. Anyway, while we were talking to David, we've gotten the subject of afternoon tea, and he's been to Claridge's. Now, that's one we haven't done yet, Claridge's. And he said it was lovely, and there's a little like mini orchestra, you know, little 3-piece band playing while you're having afternoon tea. And it's my mate's birthday soon. Now, he took me to afternoon tea at the Mandarin Oriental. You may remember back in on the 5th of February for my afternoon tea. So I said, see if we can get in at Claridge's. So we've made the call and we've got in. So we're going to Claridge's for afternoon. Claridge's, dear. I don't think I might wear this. Would this jacket be all right for Claridge's? Do you need a tie there? Do we need ties in Claridge? I think we might need a tie there. So that's where we're going to afternoon tea for his birthday. And it's not too far. It's about 6 or 7 weeks' time, I think. At the beginning, the very end of April, beginning of May is when his birthday is. So Claridge's, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Eh? So that was my afternoon yesterday. Honestly, 3 hours we were there. Came back to my house halfway through it. Had some lunch. Ronnie cooked me an omelette. I'm not very good at doing omelette, so and it was big omelette. Oh my God, 2 onions. There was a pepper in there. It was massive. The filling was massive, and a couple of eggs in there as well, and some chips. Had that. Then we went to Aldi, and there was someone very, very smelly behind us in the queue at Aldi who started talking to Ronnie. It was awful. Went back to the garage for my car. Got back home about 5:30 in the afternoon. In the end, ever so late. By this time, I'm really tired because I should have been asleep and woken up by about 5:30. Went over to Ronnie's house. He did dinner. Spaghetti bolognese. Went to see his cats. Vuitton, the cat who had the brain tumour removed. He's doing okay. He is doing okay. He don't like to be picked up. He's never had a go at me. Ronnie picks him up, you see, and he don't like it. He don't like being picked up. He hisses like that. He hisses at Ronnie when he picks. Leave the cat alone, dear. Stop touching him like that. I came back home and I packed my case for my holiday. Most stuff is in there. The clothes are in there now. I don't go mad. I know some people sort of, they go out and buy a whole new set of clothes whenever they go, when they're about to go on holiday or anything like that, don't they? I just go in my cupboard and pull out some things and put them in the case. It doesn't, as you get older, it doesn't matter so much what clothes you wear on bloody holiday, for Christ's sake. I'm going out there, besides, I'm going out there to spend, why am I going on holiday? To spend time with my niece and her children. That's why I'm going on holiday to Cyprus, because they're living out there now for a few years. That's why I'm going. I'm not going to nightclubs or, hopefully to get any like meetings or anything like that. I'm going out there to spend time, and things change as you get older. It's all very well, in your 20s, must go and get the latest designer pair of Speedos or something like that to look gorgeous on the beach. Let me tell you this now. If I put a pair of Speedos on, I would not look gorgeous on the beach. I am aware of that. I am fully aware of that. So I just put the stuff in the case. There's some socks, there's some T-shirts, this, that and the other. And tea bags, very, very important. If you go to any other country, you must take your own tea bags. You could end up in a country where all they sell is those cat's piss Lipton's things. Awful, dear. Even America, Lipton's tea bags, vile. It's not proper tea. Not proper tea. No, I'm taking my Yorkshire tea bags. Da, 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 da. And of course, the travel kettle, because you'd never be guaranteed that you've got a kettle in that room. It might say coffee making facilities. That's not tea, dear. You've got to have boiling water. The only thing, those travel kettles, they can take about half a day to start boiling. All in the case. Got my shower gel ready. Because there's things like stuff like, what was I going to say then? Shower gel, stuff like toothpaste and toothbrushes and things like that. You can't pack those until the very day before, can you? My paperwork is all sitting there. I've got my hotel voucher. I've got my plane ticket thing, my holiday insurance. It's all there, all sitting in the case ready for me. Oh, we must be prepared, like in the Scouts. Cubs, be prepared. That's right. All right. Now, let's have a little there. Weird City Citizen, get some Borat Speedos, bright green. I don't think they will suit me at all, Mr. Weird City. They will not suit me. Eric, in Cyprus. Well, in the south, it's more English than England. Even 3-pin plugs. Oh, really? Oh, well, that's handy. That's where I am, Limassol, Eric. Have you been there? I didn't know you'd been there to Limassol. That's where I'll be. And my niece is in Akara something or other. I can't remember what it's called. But it's not far from there at all. I won't need a car because she'll just come and pick me up and that's it. Let's just scroll backwards a little bit so I can see some of you are putting some messages through to that. 1 second. Adrian, why buy a Toyota? Believe in the UK. What's it? Not make cars again in the UK. Not good. Don't support them. Toyota, they make damn good cars. Why shouldn't I support them? They make damn good cars, and I've been pleased with them. That's it. That's why. Katie, I need to go. Katie, I do wonder, but I can't be possibly holding air in for weeks on end, can I? That can't be the case. Paul and Lou, my neighbour, cleans the car in his garage. He even cleaned it on Christmas Day. He's a bit strange. No, there are blokes like that, Paul and Lou. There are blokes like that. They keep their car. Have you seen, like, lads with motorbikes? Lads with motorbikes. And they're pristine. Pristine. They're polishing them and all like that. I don't think they take them out when it rains. In fact, I'm convinced that some of the boys with cars don't ever bring them out. They just bring them out on a Sunday, they clean them and put them back in the garage. I'm sure that is the case. I remember my first car. It was a Triumph TC. I was always out there polishing the damn thing. Polish. And then one day, I was driving along through Putney High Street, and outside McDonald's was one of those great big McDonald's lorries, parked the wrong way. I've come out around it, and as I've got around it, I've gone left. Well, I didn't know he's got his blooming metal things out like that, you know, the forklift thing. I've gone underneath it, and I scraped all the top of my car roof, and I had that plastic thing put on to cover it up. Ronnie's got a new car as well. He's got a plug-in Mini, he was saying there. Michael, in Australia, it's 34 degrees centigrade yesterday, but it felt like 36 with the humidity. That's hot. Don't know what the temperature today will be. We're waiting for the rain. Some places out of the country have only had 8 months' worth of drinking water before the dams dry up. Very, very hot in Australia. And every year it gets worse in Australia. Every year. And when we're seeing that here, with the weather, we haven't had a winter. Don't take any notice of these people. Oh, it's terrible winter. No, it hasn't. We've had a couple of days snow. We've had a little bit. The cold is on and off. There is no long period of cold. In fact, I don't think we've had that for years now. The long periods of cold, the weeks and weeks of really cold weather. It's been a long time since we saw that. So whereas it's getting very uncomfortable for you in Australia, it's actually getting quite nice here in the UK. Quite nice. Good morning to Kathy Conquest Forsyth Smith. Very late this morning. Very, very late this morning. Let me see. Kathy has 2 cars, but she's got 2 of most things. It's my OCD. Oh, have you read? You buy 2 of everything. My mate's got OCD with cleaning. Oh, yes. And if there's anything crooked or anything like that, he straightens it up. It was in my kitchen the other day in the afternoon, and I said, right, watch this. And I went over to I haven't got any expensive pictures here. They're the sort of thing that you buy from the DIY place, you know, like printed on the thing, and about 10 quid each. Anyway, there's one on the wall in the kitchen, and I watched this, and I made it crooked. And he said, and he ignored it for a while, but eventually he had to go over and straighten it up again. He can't stand it. If I get up from the settee in his house to go and have a wee upstairs, by the time I come back down, all the cushions have been pumped up. He's hoovered the entire room, cleaned the windows, all in the space of just a couple of minutes. Unbelievable, really. Katie, a lot of houses out here only have tank water. Yes, that was the case on Norfolk Island. A lovely, lovely, delightful little place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's actually between New Zealand and Australia, and I was lucky enough to go there twice. My cousin was running it's only a very small police force there, but just a handful of people. But nevertheless, my cousin was in charge of the police and all the emergency things there. And he had of course, they give them a house. Oh, the most delightful house. It really was, with banana trees growing all around it. I love that place. Norfolk Island, what a beautiful place. But there is no mains water. It's all tanks. The roofs are, I'm sure this is the same for your house. The roofs are designed so that the water falls down in a certain way and ends up in a tank underneath. And then a pump brings it. They turn a tap on, I think. I don't know how it works, but tap comes on and some pump goes into action and starts sucking the water up. But again, Norfolk Island, very dry at the moment. And people run out of water, literally run out of water. because there's not much rain falling anymore. So then I think there's somewhere on the island that there's like a hole. Now, what's that called? Is it just like is it a borehole? Might be called a borehole or a well. And literally, this tank sucks water up, and you can buy water from them. But they're worried that that's going to dry up now. I mean, desalination, that's one way to do it. Take seawater and get the salt out. But that is very, very expensive to do that. People don't understand that that is a very energy-hungry process, desalination of seawater. Very, and it's unkeen. Plus, you end up with all this salt. What are you going to do with that? All this salt. You know, that makes it worse. I heard of a story, a river, it might have been in Australia, where all the fish have died. And the fish have died because so much of the water has disappeared and been evaporated up that it's become more salty. Those fish don't survive in salty water, so they've all died. One wonders if this is what happened on Mars many millions of years ago or whenever. You know, was Mars like this? Did it have people walking around and animals and vegetation and all that? And remember, time is a thing that goes on forever. If you imagine, time doesn't have a beginning or an end. So we don't know. On Mars, billions of years ago, it might have been exactly the same as this, and suddenly it heated up, and that's why it's like that now. Interesting thought. Let's have a look there. Where are we going now? Michael, I agree. I'm on tank water and still buying in water. Just really need it to rain for a few weeks, but I don't think there's any sign of that, is it? Mike reckons I'm not camp. I know that. Eric, I'll teach you to do the haggling. 2 years ago, my car was in the showroom for 24,000. I pushed them down to 18,000 euros. Wow. 18,000 from 24,000. My mate could probably do that. He probably could. Thank you. Katie bought my turkey. Trevor, a girlfriend today. She's got a turkey as a pet. Birds make good pets. Chickens make good pets. They're lovely chickens. They want to be picked up and hugged. Not too. They're a bit. Don't hug them too hard because you'll break their ribs. They're very, very delicate chickens, but they do become friends. Chickens become really good pets. You can get little nappies for them as well. Diapers. Nappies. Ronnie, minced out campy. That's you, dear, not me. Morning to Steve, David, Christopher. Good morning to you. Cyprus is wonderful. I'm looking forward to going. I'm really looking forward to going there. Already found a Catholic church in Limassol for me to go on Sunday. I did email them, but they haven't got back to me that out. Good morning to Tay. Hello, Tay. It's chilly in South Carolina. Enjoy your trip. Thank you very much. I'm not going till Saturday morning. Lovely flight time, 11 o'clock a.m. So no need to rush around. I will be doing the karaoke at Central Station on the Friday as well there. So looking forward to that. In Cyprus, well in the south, it's more... Oh, yes, I've read that. I've got that bit. Sorry, well, let's go down a little bit. Dominic likes red rose tea. Is that a brand or is that like petals or something like that? I'm not keen on the infused teas like raspberry or strawberry or orange infusion or something like that. That really doesn't do it for me at all. No, tea for me has to be black tea. Black tea from Assam or some sort of mixture. My favourite tea is Harrods No. 14 English breakfast tea. And it's not that dear. Just want to tell you, it's not like really expensive or anything like that. You can get really expensive tea like gold-tipped tea leaves and all this business. It's just a normal breakfast tea. English, Harrods No. 14 English breakfast tea. And in leaves, not in bags. Leaves. When's the last time you had a decent cup of English tea, Eric? Hey, do you want me to send you some over? English shops. Oh, a fish and chip place. Oh, that would that do me, Eric. I'll be happy with that. The big RAF base. Yes. Fish and chips in Cyprus. Very happy with that. Eric and Lou. Paul and Lou love Cyprus. Lou's dad lived there. It's very English, lovely weather. Good. Eric's got a trike. I could just imagine you on a trike. One of those great big things, isn't it? Like that with the black hat on and all that business and the glasses. My trike has to be clean. I spend more time polishing it than riding her. Exactly, I know a load of the blokes are like that, Eric. Got nothing else to do on a Sunday, have they? Oh, I'll go and just clean the car out there. We'll just go for a car wash. There's some lovely lads climb all over my car, washing away at it. I only pay to go and watch them climbing over it. 5 of them. Mike, my first car was bright orange Datsun back in the 1980s. Wow. What was your first car, boys and girls? Tell me what your first car was. What colour was it, and did you like it? Michael, the fish kill in the river was from the cotton farmers taking the water so the river wasn't flowing anymore from upstream. That must be something else, Michael. That must be something else, another dead fish thing. But I know there's a river somewhere where all the fish have died because it's become too salty. Oh, well, I mean, the same thing would happen there if that river wasn't flowing. No, this river was still flowing, but it had got very salty or something was in there that killed all the fish. Michael, take Ronnie with you on holiday. No, that wouldn't work, I'm afraid. We don't work well together when we're on holiday. Lots of rows going on, so that's why I go on holiday on my own. I don't row with family ever, really, you know, when we're away on holiday. But with friends, for some reason, it just doesn't work for me. He's not the only one. I've been on holiday with a couple of friends and just end up rowing. It's just not pleasant. It's not pleasant, and I avoid rows if I can at all. Right, let's have a little look here. Oh, where was that message there? Just a minute. Okay. Right, we've got a couple of news stories. What's the time? Oh, it's 10:20. Where's that gone? It's not like I've said much today, is it? It's 10:20 already. Have you got those wireless headphones? The little Apple things. I mean, I just think they look odd, little bits of plastic sticking out of someone's ears all the time. Well, there's a story that was actually in The Sun yesterday, boys and girls. And it says in The Sun, wireless headphones could pose a cancer risk. Right? Due to the radiation being beamed into users' heads, experts have warned. Now, they've said of this, of course, about mobile phones for years, haven't they? And if you live next to a mobile phone mast and all that. But I don't think there's any evidence. I don't think they've got any evidence with the mobile phones getting cancer and all this out. Anyway, the story in The Sun says as many as 250 scientists have signed up a United Nations and World Health Organization petition warning against the use of numerous wireless devices. Wireless headphones are hugely popular. Around 28 million Apple iPods have been sold worldwide since they were launched in 2016 to tackle the menagerie of tangled headphones. Because we hate that, don't we? I mean, I've got a pair here. Look, right, I pick them up. Straight away, they're tangled, aren't they? Already. Now, these are the Apple ones. Okay, these are the Apple ones that they give you with the thing. But they're all tangled. And I never tangled them up before I put them down. How does that happen? How does it happen that headphones are tangled? Now, it doesn't take too long to do it. But you can imagine. Is that it? No, a little bit more. There we go. Yeah. You can imagine you're out somewhere. You want to put them up quickly. You take them out of your pocket. And once again, they're tangled up again. So annoying. So I can understand the thought behind these little plastic things sticking in your ear, but it just look odd to me. I think people, if you're walking around with a pair of them, you do look a little bit of an idiot. I'm sorry, you do. Little white things sticking out. You do look a bit of an idiot. It says, like many pieces of modern tech, AirPods and the similar Samsung Galaxy Buds harness a Bluetooth technology, a type of electromagnetic frequency, radio waves that can transmit data. They use this to play music from the wearer's phone or tablet directly into the ears. But it's the proximity to the user's inner skull that has left some experts concerned about the detrimental health impact it could be having. Jenny Phillips, who is a professor of biochemistry at the University of Colorado, told Medium, "My concern for AirPods is that their placement in the ear canal exposes tissues in the head to relatively high levels of radio frequency radiation." He is among the large group of scientists who have signed a petition calling for protection from the technology. So there we are. There is a debate. EMF, it says, is a form of radio wave similar to but not as powerful or dangerous as X-rays or UV. If you have too many X-rays, that's not very good either. It mentions cancer, neurological disorders, and DNA damage as among the possible harms. Some research has been linked to EMF exposure. The International Agency for Research on Cancer recently determined that EMF is possible carcinogenic to humans. The petition adds. So, I mean, there you are. That's the story. I don't think there's any evidence yet to say that they cause anything like that. Certainly, they were saying that for years, of course, about mobile phones. But I've kept an eye on that, and I don't think they've got any evidence at all to say that mobile phones cause cancer. But I must admit, if I'm walking along, the road, I tend to have the phone like this rather than like that. But that's really mainly because it's more comfortable to hold it like that. Or I'll have my I've got headphones, headphones, but I've got over-ear headphones. I don't like this. I hate this. Right? See that like this? I hate this. Right? I just hate that. It's in my ear. I don't like it. I've got the over-ear type things, so they're not so far in my ear. And it's got a little microphone. It's not like a Madonna microphone. It's just in the headset. And as long as it's not too windy, I can walk along and talk to people on those headphones, and the phone's in my pocket, which is quite handy. But the slightest bit of wind, and it sounds like there's a blooming hurricane out there. It's not good in wind at all. And then I have to switch back to the phone and pick it out of my pocket. But that's the only reason. I doubt it somehow. I mean, mobile phones, the signal from a mobile phone would be far, far more powerful than the signals that you've got coming out of the headphones. And besides, the headphones are not transmitting, are they? They're receiving signal, I would assume. They wouldn't, but they're surely those headphones are just receivers. They're not transmitters, are they? So how would you be getting electric radiation coming out of those? No, you wouldn't, would you? Because it's going that way. It's coming from your phone to your headphones. They're just receivers. They're not transmitting. Unless I'm wrong there. Someone else might know the answer to that one. Eric will know. There we go. Eric, what a load of old rollicks. There you are. He says, more harm from a dirty floor and a microwave. Oh, don't, Eric. I cleaned mine out the other day. Oh, dear me. Actually, it's not too bad. What happens is I tend to do stuff in the microwave, like a potato or something, and it's the water. The water comes out of the thing, and then you eat it. You don't think anything more of it. Sometimes, if I remove that glass dish, then there's all this water underneath it. And it might have been there for a while, actually. Thank you there. Eric's offering physics for us. Not a physical, physics. You haven't got anyone there who could give me a physical, have you, Eric? Run about 30 years old, something like that. Mike, you've lost viewers. How rude to switch off before the end of your show. Have I? I don't look at them. You know I'm not bothered about numbers. Don't bother me. If I was bothered about numbers, I wouldn't be sitting here doing the damn thing, would I? 14 years and we're just about getting into double figures. Never mind. Michael's got AirPods. Only use them at night. Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. Weird City. Toyota Starlet was my first car. Oh, I don't remember that one. They just bought the Corolla back, haven't they? They had one out in town centre the other day. Sometimes they have the cars out, trying to sell them, of course. Had a Toyota Corolla out in town the other day. And I thought, oh, I'll have a look. And I sat down. Of course, you're sitting down. You see, I'm used to now getting up into my car. And I don't like sitting like close to the floor. I know it's probably better for the air resistance and all that. But I don't like, I like to sit up in a car. I don't like to go down. Right. Thank you. Okie doke. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. And then I must get ready because I'm, as I say, I'm meeting my mate a little bit later on. A friend of mine who I haven't seen for about 25 years. I'm looking forward to that. Jeannie wrote in a couple of days ago with this, and I wasn't sure what date she wanted it done. So I said I'd do it yesterday, but of course we weren't here yesterday. So here it is for you, Jeannie. Happy birthday today, happy belated birthday to Cheryl S. from Long Island, Jeannie and Anita. the Manilow Musketeers. Good morning, ladies. And once again, happy belated birthday to Cheryl S from your friends on Long Island, Jeannie and Anita. Good morning to you and happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday again to Peter Lake, who was with us. He might still be there at the moment, I don't know. But Peter Lake's birthday this morning. He watches on the YouTube. Good morning, Peter. Happy birthday. Martin McManards is 30 years old today. Happy birthday, Martin. Bill Scowls is 67 today on this Wednesday, the 13th of March, 2019. Fabrice Perrett. Good morning to Fabrice. And Craig Steele today is 39 years old. Happy birthday, boys and girls, to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Have a lovely day, boys and girls. Thanks ever so much for joining us for the show today. Looking forward, as I say, to meeting my friend in Woking for a little bit of lunch this afternoon. And 25 years is a long time. It's funny, actually. I did his wedding when he was a telephone engineer with me. When I first met him, I thought, oh, I think you might be batting for the same team as me. But he hadn't said anything. So eventually, he booked. I was doing mobile discos at the time, so I did his wedding, and he had a lovely lady with him and all that, who he married and all that. And then, I kid you not, 15 years later, he walked into the back cut and said, "Guess what?" I said, "You haven't got to tell me anything. I knew the first time I met you." He said, "Did you?" He said, "Well, I didn't." I said, "Well, I did." And of course, he turned out in the same boat as me, so that's great, isn't it? Sorry, Joanna, that's the songs. Whenever I sing, it is dedicated especially to Joanna, because she hates my singing. So looking forward to seeing him today after such a long time. Have a lovely Wednesday, gang. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.